What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast. Seal is on vacation in the middle of the ocean. It looks like he's not even on a boat. How are you doing there, Seal?
I can act like I'm on a boat. I'm doing good. Just enjoying.
Bob back
Doing
and
good,
forth.
man. Just got off of work, so I'm not on location anywhere.
Nice. Well, yeah. So we have a ton to unpack tonight, and it's a problem because we decided now almost a year ago at this point we don't really want like those 2-hour episodes we used to have or anything like that. So it kind of sucks that so many high impact things happened just this past week, but we're not going to be able to jump in and really deep dive. It's going to be more of a surface level because I think it all deserves to be at least touched on. So we can't really leave anything off the list. But I want to start by saying, like, if you guys heard me last night, you guys see, I'm going to call it passion. You guys see what true sports fans have for passion. It was, it's not safe for kids. I know we've unchecked that mark. So none of our videos are safe for kids, but we obviously try not to be crazy. But no, last night I was mad. LAFC lost a game they should not have lost in a way that they should not have lost. I had been drinking because I did win my fantasy baseball championship. So
Let's go.
I popped a bottle of champagne like about 2 p.m. after all the games are done. So I had been drinking the whole time up to LAFC. And so when you drink and your team loses in a way they don't want to lose, it goes bad. But I still suggest to go watch it. I think it's personally hilarious. It's full of cussing. It's full of just not safe for little ears, but it's fun. I like doing that post game show for LAFC. So continue to head over to YouTube. It's different than what we do right here. So it did show up in our uploads, by the way, Seal. So
Sweet.
who knows? I think it was
I like
before.
it. It made me kind of miss our after the finals. I mean, I know it was the Cavs, so I had a little bit more of a foot in the ring, if you will. But I really did enjoy those, and I feel like those live videos do bring a different aspect, which is when stuff like that happens, very enjoyable.
Exactly.
When you have that passion in it.
And that's something that I love and that I think this YouTube that we just started to use. Yeah, hey, that's what you get when you're on location live somewhere. No, but I want the YouTube to have more uses than just putting a video version of the podcast. So continue to look for those things. It's going to be awesome. We're going to do more things like that. As you just stated, the NBA Finals are up. We might not do every game, but we might do some live reactions if LeBron drops 55 in one game or something crazy like that. So we could definitely do those things. But go check them out. It's just No Scrubs Allowed Pod, right? Is that the name of the page on YouTube?
Yes. No, it's No Scrubs Allowed Podcast. Is how
podcast. Okay.
Yeah, it's all of it.
And we want to shout out. It's not a real shout out. It's a scrub shout out. Some guy that has a No Scrubs podcast that he decided he just came up with that name, like out of the blue, 2 weeks ago or months ago, whatever it was, just out of the blue. No Scrubs podcast. Hey, I made it up. It's cool. I Googled it. Nothing's there. So whatever, man. Hey, shout out to that guy. He has a lot of listeners. That's cool. Hopefully some of them type in and find the original No Scrubs Allowed podcast, and we're gaining some listeners that way. So, hey, more props to you. But just know when you look, we're the original. He's an imposter. He is a scrub. And
sure.
So he's going to learn. Maybe
you never start. These people are literally hundreds of yards away, and I can hear them through these noise cancellation.
Yeah, they're going crazy.
Yeah, I hope Lyft shows up for them soon. I don't even know what that building is over there. But anyways, yeah. This I kind of like it. It's a little bit of motivation. It is definitely scrubbish of him. When you start off your first video saying, "Hey guys, welcome to the No Scrubs Pod." I just thought of this name. Completely thought of it. This is original. This is me. I just thought of it like 2 seconds ago. There's definitely something sketch about that.
The way you point that out is just hilarious.
Yeah, you can always tell when the huddle of people are talking about you because when they all break the huddle, they all just look over at you guilty as fuck. So it's hilarious.
That,
and I was like, "Are you serious?" And then I got pissed off that I gave him a view.
I know, right? Yeah, same here. I had to listen to a little bit, but hey, like I said, the podcast world, I am somebody that thinks everybody should have a podcast. If you want your name heard, if you want your voice heard, do it. It's the easiest thing to do. Just don't name it after somebody else. Like, get out of here. But whatever. No scrubs allowed, so he's not allowed. He is a scrub. But if he gets
Hello.
us listeners through the transitive property, then hey, I'm happy. But anyways, let's get to sports. A lot of sports have happened. A lot of stuff went down. And it's hard to even pick a place to start, really. But just want to give a quick shout out. There's nothing to report on, but the French Open started yesterday, technically Saturday. And so that's going on. That's Nadal's chance to get a little bit closer to Federer. So I'm hoping next week when it's a little bit and we can actually go into it, I get to talk about Nadal, hopefully still in the tournament. But that got started. So that's kind of a what to watch here in this future week coming up. But which sport? Well, you know what? Let's start with the sport that is finished. The sport that officially ended today on Sunday or Monday, whatever day this is. Tampa Bay Lightning, congratulations. They are the Stanley Cup champions. It's official. This is the second one, I believe, in their franchise. And I know that Florida doesn't necessarily care about hockey, and you are closer to the team Florida, who really doesn't care about hockey. But do you guys have hockey fans? Do people ever come into the bar and want to watch hockey?
Yeah, I actually had
Nice.
a couple of guys decked out in Rangers gear tonight watching the Tampa Bay and Dallas finals. So
Nice.
it was really cool to see. And, yeah, we do have quite a bit of people. And there are a good bit of people around a little closer south towards Alligator Alley where whatever the BB&T Center is and where they play. So a little bit further south, you will have a couple more of hockey fans. But, yeah, there are a lot of hockey fans around here, a lot of people from up north that love hockey as well and have moved here and love it. But a lot more than Jacksonville, I feel like, for sure.
Oh, yeah,
Heck of a lot more than North Florida.
I bet. And shout out to Tampa, getting the city of Tampa, getting the championship year started, because in a calendar year, they're going to have potentially 2 more championships. And this is a realistic thing. Like, they could potentially have 2 more championships, as well as Miami. So the state of Florida in general could sweep this calendar year, and that's super, super cool. But we wanted to give the shout out to Tampa Bay Lightning. Victor Hedman, their assistant captain, but they're all captains. It's just the C can only go on one guy's chest, right? So the assistant captain is still a captain. He's looked up to just like Stamkos is. He won the Conn Smythe, the playoff MVP. He had 10 goals he's a defenseman. He had 10 goals throughout the postseason, which is the second highest. 11 is the record. So he did his thing. He didn't let COVID and the bubble stop him. He did his thing. So shout out to those guys. Sorry that we don't have a lot of insight on hockey. It is exciting to watch. I watched the game, but we don't know enough lingo and terminology and stuff. I just watch it and it's exciting.
Yeah, we're also sorry Eddie wasn't able to make an appearance to help you guys out. I know you guys look forward to hearing his hockey talk.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's about all we have. Tampa won. It was a lot of fun, man, when you have a game that goes, the first game was 2-1, and then the second game Tampa blew them out like 6-2 or something like that. It was
And then
really
Dallas
fun to
needed
watch.
double overtime to force this game 6 in the first place, which is crazy. I did not even stay up for that, so I know that the East Coasters didn't. But yeah, so that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's our hockey talk for the year. We get a nice little 5-minute segment once a year and to crown the champs. So if you want to crown them, then crown their asses. Tampa Bay are the champs. So go on, Tampa Bay. Well, let's talk about not Tampa Bay Bucks, but we don't need to talk about Tampa Bay Bucks, but they won again. Football, I missed a lot of football because I was watching the last day of baseball. Was there any games from Sunday that you want to touch on? Anything you want? I mean, Tampa Bay rocked, but it's a backup quarterback.
That's pretty much the main headlines. I was working a 11, 12-hour shift, and I was watching the Red Zone on my phone. You got to shout out Adam Gase for ruining another team.
They signed him as the head coach on purpose, man. They knew they were going to lose. They were like, Trevor Lawrence is coming up in a few years. Let's sign Gase. That's
for
smart.
sure.
smart thing.
And then you got to shout out Josh Allen, man.
Yeah.
That dude is literally coming out here. And you see all these, like, Mahomes just put up another record. And what does he have? Russ has 19. He has 19 and 3 weeks. And Josh
14.
Allen has, like,
Russ
14?
has 14. That's what the record was.
Okay.
But I don't know if Pat just passed it tonight.
He might have with his 5 touchdowns.
Yes.
But, yeah, and then Josh Allen put up a cool 13 to go 1 touchdown under and a record. This will be gone soon.
And it's fine. It just sounds like nice little background music or something. No, but he even led a comeback against Aaron Donald, who it's 3 weeks in, but I can put a lock and you're not going to get good numbers on it, but you might make 50 cents on a dollar. Aaron Donald's going to win the Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to do it again. He always wins it. You're not going to get good odds, but if you want to put in that bet, he's going to win it. But Josh Allen still, despite that, had to lead a fourth quarter drive to get that touchdown at the end, and they held on for the victory. So, yeah, that's a huge headline. And then, like you said, Russell Wilson continues to dominate, and this was, as of Sunday's headlines, he had the record. I'm sorry, I don't know if the 5 from tonight gets Mahomes to the 14 or not, but it's been a great year already, and it's just starting off. So that's exciting. And the Saints, I want to shout myself out. I told you, without Michael Thomas, they are not the same team. And now they're 1-2, and now the Bucs have the inside track, which I don't expect to go 15-1, but we now have the inside track. It looks like we could potentially beat the Saints in Tampa if we have to get to that point. And Breeze doesn't necessarily look like Breeze anymore, and I don't think he's at any sort of risk of losing his job, but you think Jameis is chomping at the bit to say, hey, Breeze doesn't look like the Hall of Fame Breeze guy anymore. Maybe I can get in there and get some touches.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But, I mean, we all know they're going through practice. I mean, the twos don't really get that much.
Right.
But he could be mirroring quarterbacks and stuff. So the coaches know what they have in Jameis, and we all know he has a hell of an arm. It's just that judgment, the accuracy, the precision, and all that stuff that
I want to see if his new eyes, man, his special eyes.
Same. So I mean, I feel like if he had it by now, they'd be coming out probably this week and being like, hey, we're going to give Jameis the start and see what happens.
I don't know about the start, but they might say, like, he's going to get a drive. Like, we're going to make sure maybe the third drive of the game is his kind of thing.
I think the only thing that he could hope for is they're playing some shitty team and they're up like 52-14, and they let him go in, and he just doesn't throw an incompletion and looks amazing. And the only reason they're up 52 is because Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara went off.
Well, the only reason, or the only way that they'll be up 50 is if Michael Thomas comes back. So that's a guarantee. I'm happy with myself that I called that. I know that I personally, and I love Nuke, I personally think that Michael Thomas is the most dangerous receiver in the league right now.
Oh, yeah.
So without him, it's showing. And I'm happy as a Tampa Bay fan. Maybe my Saints to win the division pick is going to be wrong. And
that defense doesn't look as great as we expected it to be coming into this year. Right. I mean, they have monsters everywhere, but Aaron Rodgers showed a lot of hope.
Yeah. So the headlines that are really touching right now in the NFL, because like I said, we're not going to go super deep, but it's the Russell Wilson, it's Josh Allen, it's Mitch Trubisky got benched, Nick Foles came out, led another comeback. Dan Quinn, I have not seen that he's fired yet, but why is Dan Quinn not fired yet? He will be. I think he's the first coach going to be gone pretty soon. So that'll be a headline, maybe even this week, maybe before the next game.
And the Eagles, man, the Eagles
it tied the Bengals. So didn't Baker Mayfield get his first non-loss off a tie as well?
I think so.
Of his career. So that's kind of crazy that they're kind of mirroring each other in that way. But yeah, so
they just look like shit. Super Bowl winning head coach made stupid calls at the end of that game. I mean, absolute ass calls. Punting the ball instead of going for, I mean, what was it? Probably would have been like 60.
It was like a 64-yarder, but still, a punt is a tie. Like, you're tying at that point.
Yeah.
If you punt it, you might as well either go for it or try to kick the field goal if you think you can kick it. because the worst case scenario is you miss it. Yeah, they are now on your side. Maybe they hit a Hail Mary and win. But okay, whatever. Like, it happens.
Yeah, that
The
was
tie doesn't help you.
that was mind-boggling to see, and I just feel bad for every Philly fan out there because them fans are absolutely there's probably a couple contracted hitmen out in Philly right now that were hired by the fans to go after Doug, for sure.
It is possible. But the big headline from this week was the Monday Night Football game, and it was the Chiefs versus the Ravens, and it only halfway lived up to the hype because only one team lived up to the hype, and that was the Chiefs. They're unstoppable on offense. And then when Chris Jones is doing what he was doing on defense, they're unstoppable there too. And they're the defending Super Bowl champs. Mahomes won the MVP the year before. Who's stopping Kansas City if they're playing at their peak? If they are firing, is there a team that can even try?
There's a guy with a mustache up in North Florida. No, I'm kidding. No. But I really, honestly, the only team that could have a chance is the Packers. That's what I kind of wanted to see last year. Didn't get to see it. And that's really what I want to see this year, seeing how the Packers are really just fucking teams up, like left and right. They didn't come out looking hot last night, but they ended up getting on all cylinders and just showed out. And that's really what I've come to expect from the Packers this year. They kind of seem to always fly under the radar. There wasn't much talk about them going into the season, but they were one game away from the Super Bowl last year. And I feel like every NFL expert and ESPN analysis just didn't even talk about them when they were talking about Super Bowl picks. It was mind-boggling. I mean, Minnesota got way more love than the Packers did, and look at what's going on over there. So that's the one team that I would look at to see, just because they're well coached and a young ass dude. And them two have really gotten along well, which we didn't think would happen.
The drafting of a quarterback has turned Aaron Rodgers into that guy, and they didn't even draft the quarterback to play. They drafted him the same way they drafted Aaron Rodgers, where they were like, listen, we already have Brett Favre. We're going to sit him for a couple years, and we think he might be the guy. But it pissed Aaron Rodgers off, clearly, that they got a quarterback. So that's pretty cool.
And I like the clips of them two being buddies and playing around with them, older brother kind of stuff. I like that. But, yeah, a little fire under his ass that really the NFL didn't need to do. And the Packers are probably happy as hell and think that that's the smartest decision they've ever made, because now they're going to probably get 3 MVP-type seasons out of Aaron Rodgers until he retires, instead of him just kind of going along and managing his arm and trying to stay as long as he can.
Right.
His mentality right now is fucking, I'm winning another chip this year.
And the Packers are happy with that because they can, at that point now, do what the Patriots did with Jimmy Garoppolo. If it turns out that Aaron Rodgers can go 3-4 more years, just trade the young guy on potential and say, here, guys, like he hasn't proven shit, but if you give us assets, we already have the MVP now, so we don't care. So The big headline, though, from this week, like I said, was that matchup. Lamar Jackson didn't show up for the matchup, though. He did not look great. I think he only had like 97 yards passing, which is a career low for him. He had a fumble lost, 2 fumbles. Well, no, he only had 1. Another guy had the other fumble. Chris Jones actually forced both fumbles. But he's the MVP, right? Until he's not, which this week I don't think he is anymore. But do you think Lamar bounces back from this? I think personally he has the attitude to where this is a game he can bounce back from. But
I forget what game it was last year. I don't think it was week 3. I think it was later on. It was like week 6, week 7, and it was a great team that they played, man. And they really just got their asses handed to them. And he played poorly. Mark Ingram did great. He actually was the only reason they were in it. And I don't know what it was, but it lit a fire under his asshole. And then we saw MVP Lamar every single week. And I think they went on an 8-9 game tear and didn't lose another game and ended up with only 3 losses on the season.
Right.
And didn't get any playoff wins, I don't believe. But still,
nope.
Yeah. So, but like you said, it is Lamar's MVP to lose until Pat Mahomes goes out there and throws 3 to 5 touchdowns every single week and gets it right back.
And then Russell Wilson will still be the guy that has no first place votes in his career.
And Nicole Hardman, that jump that he's made that I've seen so far.
He's so fast. It's
Yeah, and
crazy.
he's learning how to get that separation, and it's crazy. You usually last year when you see Nicole Hardman, if he's on the slant or something, there's somebody just trying to catch him.
Yeah.
The highlights that I saw, there's nobody. He's creating so much space on his cuts.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
Well,
ridiculous.
and his cuts are better, like you said. Like last year he would catch like a 3-yard slant and then just be faster than everyone else. But now he's able to run routes that are 15, 20 yards down the field and create separation, like you said, just to mirror that. And it's amazing. And they already have Tyreek Hill. They already have Travis Kelce. Edwards-Helaire looks pretty good, and even coming out of the backfield to catch the ball looks pretty good. So when Sammy Watkins is your fifth option, that's a pretty good deal. Not that I think Sammy Watkins is that good, but as a fifth option receiver, like that's not too bad.
I wish we would have got Sammy Watkins instead of Chris Conley's bum ass from the Chiefs wide receiving core. God.
Hey, well, it happens. But yeah, so it looks like there's a few really good teams, and we'll break those down, like I said, a little further. There will be some undefeated teams next week, guaranteed, because there are two games that have two
Real
3-0s going up against each other. What up?
Let me get a quick answer from you. Are you scared of the Packers being in an NFC? Is that the team that you're most feared of, or is it the Seahawks or a different team?
Well, luckily for me, so going into before any games were played, I was most scared of San Francisco, and rightly so, because they were Super Bowl losers. But they obviously, with injuries, and they're still scary. They still won. They won big too. But I'm not as scared of them. If I had to pick one team, yeah, I think it'd still be Seattle.
Okay.
I mean, Pete Carroll has done it. Russell Wilson's done it, which I know Aaron Rodgers has done it, but LaFleur or whatever his name is hasn't.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur.
And he's going to have to take his licks in the playoffs as well, a couple more times, in my opinion. But Tom Brady's been there. He's not worried about a quarterback battle. He needs a full team. And I'm scared of both of them, to be brutally honest, to answer your question. But the most scared, I think, would still be Seattle.
Okay.
All right, so before we take our break, let's do a quick shout out as well to a huge UFC card that happened, UFC 253. It was an epic fight night, and not even just the two title fights. There were a couple in the prelims even that you were able to watch for free if you didn't want to buy or steal the actual thing. There were just some great fights. Diego Sanchez, this was not a great fight, but did you get to see Diego Sanchez try to do his Jorge Masvidal?
No.
So you remember?
Oh, at the beginning? At the beginning?
The flying knee? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
He was like 3 feet away from the guy when he did it. Diego Sanchez is so old. I love Diego, but he's awesome. He's past his prime. But there were a lot of great fights. But then when you get into the main card, where it really counted, the women's fight was actually really good as well.
It was.
But everyone was hoping that Sarge would win just because she's the younger one. She's the one that they want to move up. But Ketlen Vieira looks really good. I'll let you talk about this guy because he has your personality all day long. But this Hakeem Dawodu, the first fight, were you able to tune in time to catch that first fight with this guy?
Is that the one that was against the
Khabib's guy? Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. I mean, that was whenever I'm telling you, bro, you ready for this Venmo? Because it just no, I got to watch the post.
The interview?
Boy, yeah.
Dude, he is you. He is absolutely you. If you were any good at fighting, you would be him. But he looked great. And it was a decision, but it was a clean – and they called it – this is why I texted you. They called it a split decision, whereas I have no clue why it should have been a split decision. It should have been unanimous. And luckily, the judging did not come into question anytime later because there was no need to. Because when we got to the fights that mattered, Jan Blachowicz against Dominic Reyes and Israel Adesanya against Paulo Costa, neither one of those two fights went to the judges. Neither one of those two fights went into the championship rounds. They both ended in round 2. You could have probably parlayed a round 2 win. That would have been worth a lot of money. But
there was somebody who made a shit ton of money. They shouted it out.
Oh, yeah, I heard him say that. That was off of
He
2 lower fights, right? That he
yeah,
picked the 2
he
underdogs or
turned
something.
he turned 200 and something dollar bets into like $26,000
That's
on a
awesome.
parlay.
Props to that guy. But yeah, so Jan Blachowicz, I didn't expect him to beat Dominic Reyes because we
Me
saw
neither.
Dominic Reyes go out against John Bones Jones and arguably win. I mean, there's controversy between if he won or Johnny won. And so I was like, all right, well, Dominic Reyes is going to get the belt that he deserves, blah, blah, blah. And then you said it best. Jan Blachowicz made Dominic Reyes put on an Elvis impression, man. This
Dude,
guy
I
knocked
died.
him
I
out.
shout out to my stream, bro. I don't want to. I'm not saying it. It's a legal stream, a legal one. So shout out to ESPN Plus. I didn't want to get us in trouble, but dude, it was amazing. I was able to like rewind it only one time, but rewind it and rewatch it, and then I got to watch it 2 more times when they replayed it. It
Right.
was absolutely amazing, and that's that temple, dude. It'll get you. No. It wasn't the temple the first time. That was the second fight, right?
Yeah.
Stylebender got him in the temple. But yeah, but dude, it was awesome. I jumped out of my bed and went absolutely berserk. I think the reason I don't like Reyes is one because of everything that was said after that fight, immediately after the fight with
Right.
Bone Jones about all the he deserved it. I felt like more so like Jones could have did more, but he controlled that fight. He let Reyes do what he wanted Reyes to do for the most part. So yeah, there probably was a lot of okay, let's go get this belt that we deserve and all that stuff. And then also, I just can't stand the guy's face in the octagon, dude. Can't do it.
Well, he looks
Cannot do it.
cocky as all get out as well, which he
Yeah,
is,
and
but
he looks like one of those Disney sinister
mm,
Pharaoh Emperor guys who just has all this swag, but he's like the 3 foot tall, like one of those guys.
he
And
looks
his
like he
face
could
is
play
just,
Jafar in
oh,
Aladdin, kind of.
yeah, yes,
No, just to piggyback on your John fight, if that was, as they say in other sports, if that was a neutral site, if there wasn't a belt on the line, if there wasn't anything like that, I think Dominic Reyes might have won the judges. But I always stay in the camp of to be the champ, you have to beat the champ. And it's boring. Tyron Woodley made a career out of it.
yes,
But if you
yes,
are the champ, you can do what John did. Just sit back, and if he's not going to beat you, you are going to win, and that's fair. It's boring. We're glad that Tyron Woodley is no longer the champ because it's boring.
yes,
But that's the camp that I sit in. But then we'll move on to the Izzy fight. Israel Adesanya, the last style bender. I love this man. I've loved him for a long
bro.
time, ever since he
I'm not.
taunted my favorite Anderson Silva, which is now, 6-7 fights ago. I've liked this guy.
Yeah, it's been a good 2 years now, right? 2.5 years.
Yeah, something like that.
I
Paulo
think that's the
Costa,
fight where
man.
I started to hate him, and then just all the he was just too much swag. But damn, now 20-0. Take that swag back, brother, man.
When you get this,
Sheesh.
when you earn the swag, it's cool. Yeah, he didn't have the earning of the swag yet, but I love his mentality where he says, "I want to face the best people." He does not want to like pick his battles. He's like, whoever's number one, that's who I want to face. When he called out Jared Cannonier, he was like, if he beats Whitaker, he's the guy. He's the number one guy. He's never going to dodge anybody. He's going to go fight the biggest names and do the biggest things. And Paulo Costa was the biggest name, but Paulo Costa was being a little bitch. He
Bro,
knew that he was not a better fighter than Israel Adesanya, and that's why he was trying all those stupid mind games, all those showmanship things, because you only do that in the middle of the fight, either one, when you've won and you can just toy with somebody, or two, when you're scared and you don't want
yeah,
to just get into a fight with him. And when you do
and
it from the start, that means you're scared. Like if you knock somebody out and then taunt them, that's a little different
what I got from it is he truly believed his chin was strong enough
to
to
take it.
go up against Adesanya. And I mean, when you look at Israel, it's not
He's
you're
not a
not too
powerful
scared.
guy.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
not
he's
too
not.
scared of his stature, but it's weird the way his weird flingy arms come in and finally hit you, and his wrist always seemed to fucking
He
buckle and
looks
flex.
He truly looks like he's in
But
like a slap fight and doesn't understand how to fight. Like his
yeah,
style, like he's
yeah,
like
but like he showed
weird.
you, you could look like the Hercules and the Hulk at 185 pounds, but you can also get your ass knocked out. So come in there
And
ready. Don't come in there confident.
I was hoping that question mark kick from Adesanya was going to land. It was literally like 20 seconds before he actually knocked him out. That kick was like this close to
Yeah.
setting this dude on his ass, but then he still knocked him out anyway. And I think that's better than a judge's decision. I'm happy that both fights went to the floor and actually made the ref pull them off. And neither fight was an early stoppage at all. I mean, you saw Dominic literally wobble his way to the ground.
Yeah.
Costa looked like an early stoppage, but then when you watched the replay and you saw how long he was sitting on the mat after the fight was over to get back up, you were like, oh no, he was actually.
Yeah. And I love that too. He was just so mad at himself. He was looking over at Adesanya being Adesanya, and he couldn't smile. He couldn't put a bad face on. He was just looking, just
Yeah, and now he's going to have to earn his way back because Izzy's not just going to grant, oh, I want a rematch. No, you didn't show me anything to give me a rematch. So you go fight your way back up here, and then maybe we'll talk.
Yeah, maybe if Izzy wasn't able to sit here and do all this and stay salty because his face was still pretty as shit after that.
Right?
I mean, I only said that because the
I don't
guy
think
was a
he
model.
got touched. I truly
Isn't
don't.
that crazy though? He was a model before he was an MMA fighter. That's awesome.
I
That's
truly don't
awesome.
think he was touched. Not significantly in that fight. That's so crazy.
And
so,
dude, the knee and the ribs of Reyes.
The
ribs of Reyes.
The ribs of Reyes, and then the calf
and then
of Costa.
Yeah, it was like the underneath. Oh my gosh, dude!
Those kicks, dude. People underestimate them, and I've never been kicked, so I don't understand it either. But when I see the welt of just getting kicked over and over,
that kid that I used to fight,
that
kid that lived at the end of my road in Palatka, Drew,
yeah,
all the time, and we would always get into our little fights and stuff, like fist fights. He was in Taekwondo and stuff, so he would always try that stupid shit. Thank God he really didn't know what he was doing, and then things didn't land, because God, that would have hurt.
Well, the thing is, like, they're so talented that they hit the exact same spot every single time. Like, one kick doesn't really hurt that badly, and that's why they just continue doing it. But what if it's the same exact spot? Eventually, it's going to hurt. So
that's where Reyes's was. I was so impressed by Bogdanovich under the Polish power. That's what I'm calling him. I was so impressed by his accuracy on that high kick because it wasn't down here on the waist. It was up on the rib,
right on the armpit almost. Yeah.
And the bruising was only probably about the width of a foot and a half width of, like, he was staying on that same tender spot, man, that whole time. And now he had to go home trying to figure out where his birdies were. And now I got to wake up tomorrow and deal with these ribs for the next 3 weeks. Like, shit.
And hopefully not get a punctured lung trying to get a shot for your ribs. But, all right, so let's take a break and let's talk about our sponsor, Manscaped. There's so many sports going on now, and Manscaped is here because, at least with football, you're sitting for like 11 hours straight on a couch watching. You're not running. You're not doing anything athletic, but somehow it still smells down there. The way to fix that is with Manscaped, I'm telling you. So Manscaped is here, and they're going to help you take your grooming game to the next level.
For sure. And right now they have a couple things in their Perfect Package 3.0 that can help you with all that stuff. One thing that's really bad for the nasty smell down there is a lot of pubic hair. So they have this Lawnmower 3.0 that's absolutely amazing. We're not going to beat the bush about it all the time. If you watched the pod before, this thing is absolutely amazing, and it's waterproof, and it has LED light and all that stuff. But it's really the best razor you can get out right now that's not going to cut your balls if you don't want to use a guard on them.
Right.
And second thing they have is this crop preserve, and it's also anti-chafing cream you can put on there, and it's absolutely nice. And if it does smell a little bit, it comes with a little bit of the little crop spray. You just
the spritzer. Yes, sir.
Throw a little bit of that spritzer stuff. And like I always have to talk about, this stuff is pH balanced. So if you don't take a shower after you do a little then it's fine. Your thing's still nice and clean and pH balanced for you and your happy times and your love zone and whatever you do with your other halves. So you're good to go there.
Happy time in the love zone. Yeah, so Manscaped has all those things. We're going to continue to push that, not because it's the most expensive thing, not because we get commissions off every perfect package sold. No, we're pushing it because we truly believe that that's the best bet. You can go buy
Is it
single
really
items.
the most expensive thing on there?
Probably. I mean, it's the bundle. Like, bundles are usually
Cool, good thing you get a discount.
I'm saying because if you just buy a crop preserver is what I'm saying. If you try to piece by piece and pick your way, no, buy the whole kit. It's worth it. And you get the free leather bag and you get the free boxers. Those are both really cool too. So it actually makes it not the most expensive thing if you do value-wise. And then on top of that, you get 20% off and free shipping if you use our code NOSCRUBS, all one word, at checkout, and that's manscaped.com. Use our code, get free shipping and 20% off, plus all that other free stuff if you choose the perfect package. It's great. It's the best thing that you can do, and it's the perfect item for your perfect package. So
for sure.
Let's now talk about a couple of team sports. We talk about the NBA every single week, so we're not going to really dig in and do any of that stuff. Like I said, we're pretty broad tonight, but the finals are officially set. It's the Heat versus the Lakers. It starts tomorrow if you're listening to this on Tuesday. It starts Wednesday night, and it's going to be exciting. The Vegas has the Lakers as clear favorites, but most of the bets, I think 70 to 75% of the bets have come in on the Heat. So now that it's time, game one hasn't happened yet. Nothing's happened yet. We're going to make some picks here, and then a reason why we're making these picks. So I will let you go first as a true LeBron fan and a Heat fan. I'm going to let you go first.
All right, hold on. You thought this was a Gator hat, didn't you? No, hello. All right, let's talk about this here a little bit. Did you watch and hear that game last night, or were you just watching?
Which one? The Heat game?
The Celtics. Yeah.
Oh no, I had it on mute.
All right. Well, I was at work, and there was a guy that was watching on the right side. He was the only one on that side, so they put the audio on for him, and I was able to hear it. The announcers, they wanted the Celtics. You could see from the calls that were being made. I saw some statistical tweet thing earlier today, but in the last 5 minutes of that game, there was over 12 missed calls. There was 12 missed calls in the last 5 minutes of that game. Mm-hmm. There was 14 missed calls in the whole bubble playoffs, apparently, so far. That was like a stat. I mean, the thing had a check.
That's from that last 5 minute review that the NBA does now?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
So, there was 12, and then in the whole playoffs so far, there was 14. And there was like 12 in that game. And so the refs wanted it. The announcers definitely wanted this. It was laughable. I was dying laughing. And to overcome that, man, the Celtics, the Heat, I really want to give it to them, man, because they are definitely the better team from top to bottom against the Celtics. So to be able to come the refs too, that is getting paid by a league that wanted that LA Celtics showdown. I mean, there are storylines all over either way, but come on. If you're not a LeBron fan or you're not really a Heat fan, there's not too much. If you're a Midwest person, you could care less. If you're a Northeast person, you could really care less. But that Boston, LA, the whole nation would get behind that like they always have. Right. And so to be able to overcome all of that and get into the NBA Finals, it's really hard not to give it to the Heat. But then I think, is the NBA really going to let the Heat beat the Lakers? Like, are they really going to let the refs allow that to happen? And I don't think that they're shy about the way they do things. We've always seen it happen. It's always a conspiracy no matter what. Everybody's always able to find things that the refs do and make these calls. And the way the NBA is now, it is already so subjective that you're really not going to be able to tell if it's missed calls or not. That's why I was kind of iffy on that stat, but it was kind of, a little eyebrow raiser.
Yeah.
But it's hard. But I really think that I keep wanting to say the fucking shitty ass Celtics, but I think the Heat will be able to get it done. I mean, it's LeBron and AD, and then you have Caruso and who else?
KCP has been doing work.
He's showing up. Yeah.
Danny Green's hitting some shots. Just playoff Rondo is here, though. He's probably number 3 really right now.
The Heat is Jimmy Butler is, I wouldn't even say he's the obvious one. He's the motivator. There's so many shot makers on that Jimmy.
Bam
Hero,
is their number
Duncan,
one, I would say,
Bam,
like as
yeah,
far as
yeah, for
that they
sure.
need to do.
Bam, Jay Crowder. Like, they have so many bodies and so many people that if you want to run 5 plays for Jay, he'll probably get you 10 points off of those 5 plays. If you want to run 5 plays for Hero or Robinson, they'll probably get you the 15 points for them because they're wet as shit from the 3.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, you have the Dragon, who's the wisest motherfucker on the team and just is becoming this. I don't know if he went to St. Augustine and hit that Fountain of Youth, but he's been showing up and showing out. I mean, little spurts here and there. Don't get me wrong, he is still old and all that stuff, but he's been showing up too, man. And it's hard to go against that
And
team.
Iggy's
They're
back.
very well
Iggy came
coached.
out and did his thing, bro.
Yes.
So.
I didn't even. Yes, Iggy was showing out last night. Yeah. So I can't go against the Heat and that roster they have and just the coaching staff that they have.
What's your prediction? How many games?
6.
6 games. Ooh, okay. I agree with you, but in all the points that you made, it's just that the 2 best players in this series are going to be on the same team.
Yeah.
And if you look at the next, after LeBron and AD, you might pick 5 Heat players before you pick another Lakers player, but the 2 best players on the court are going to be on the same team every single time. And it's difficult. I think it's going to go 6 as well, but I think it's the Lakers going to win it in 6.
Okay. See, I think
I saw what LeBron did in game 5 against the Nuggets, where he said, you know what, screw this whole coming back from 3-1. And he turned it on. He did his LeBron thing that we've seen for now, 28 years or however old he is. I don't even know, 20 years. And it's time. They're going to do it again.
Yeah, I totally forgot about what I was going to say. All right, that's what I was going to say. If the Lakers do end up winning it, I think it's going to go to 7. Just because I don't see the Heat. And, I mean, it could be vice versa. If the refs are able to do it, it might go 7 either way.
They might just make it go 7 just to see what happens.
I don't see any of these teams going 3-1.
Right.
Well, I mean, I guess like it's going to be 2-2, and then the team might be able to burst off. But I don't see anybody getting that much of a separation and being able to end it in 5. It's going to go either 6 or 7, and for sure, it's going to be a hell of a series, man. I'm excited for it. It sucks that it's LeBron, but shout out to them because you've seen it. We just saw Doc. Doc just got fired,
right?
And which I think it's probably one of the dumbest firings.
It's kind of what you have to do, though. They haven't made it.
You don't. Then why not do it last year? All right, cool. We got a whole new.
They had their chance. They grabbed Kawhi. They grabbed Paul George. They still can't make a conference finals. You have to have another reason now. Every offseason, you have to have a reason why you lost, and they should have just gotten rid of Paul George. Told him, "You're the reason we lost. Get out of here." But they can't do that.
But shout out to the Lakers to be able to get it done. I mean, when they just had LeBron, we saw where they were and all that stuff. To move all those pieces around and it only being LeBron and Kuzma, a month after they drafted that dude out of Michigan, he wasn't even on the fucking team anymore.
Yeah.
And then to be able to revamp that, get Frank Vogel, who's a hell of a fucking coach, and get into the finals and a time where all these teams are always making these moving pieces and all that stuff, and they're not able to get it done. I mean, shout out Kawhi last year for getting that shit for Toronto, and that one time little fun zone there. But you don't see that, and you're not going to see that. I don't care how many superstars you're able to get in that first year, a la Miami Heat. It's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to really get it done too many times. So I don't see why Doc got fired.
He's had a lot of years, though. It wasn't like this one year he didn't do it. He had Chris Paul and Blake Griffin for a while. He's had years over and over and over.
I mean, now that I'm thinking, he had his team pretty much, and they were able to plug in 2 of the top 10, let's say 10 because Paul George, but one of the top 3 players in the league, and then definitely a top 10, I think Paul George is a top 5, but a lot of people differ on that. Yeah,
sure. Not even close.
So I'd say top 10. But, I can kind of see, like, dude, your system isn't going to work. We need to try to win with the team that we have. and get another coach in here and try to get his lineup going based around these two superstars as early as possible. So, yeah, I kind of get it, but damn, man.
Who knows? But it's going to be interesting to see who they take because this is it. These guys, Kawhi and Paul George, only signed for 2 years. So they're not getting somebody that they're like, hey, let's let you get your system in and let you do your thing. No, like whoever they bring in has to win right now. And I don't know who that's going to be. It's going to be maybe Ty Lue, but he's everywhere because Ty's his assistant, right?
Yeah.
In LA. So they might just promote him up, but he's in high demand. But I don't know if he'd be ready. I mean, he might use the same system, so that might help as well. But whoever they take, it's a win right now, and that's the only options you have. So, yeah, I say Lakers in 6. You say Heat in 6. I hope you're right. I was talking to our buddy Jake, and I said the only way I'll be fine with the Lakers winning is if LeBron gets his ring, and for whatever reason, I don't know why he's getting the ring on the night that they win, but he takes his ring, and he said, I still have 3 rings. Kobe has 6. And he drops it on the table and walks away. And I'll be like, now LeBron's my favorite player of all time, but he'll never do that. So I can make that bold claim. But if he did that, if he said let the record show I still have 3 rings, Kobe has 6, I'd be like, all right, we're straight.
That would be baller. But that's not going to happen.
No,
he's going to be like, oh, need 3 more.
I'm the greatest of all time now. Look at my 4 rings.
I only need 3 more. And God knows he'll play till he's 45 years old until he gets that 7th one.
Yeah, he'll Vince Carter it, but he's way better than Vince Carter, so works out. All right, so the last sport, like I said, every sport is doing something. The MLB playoffs are here. They're actually a thing. They're doing bubbles, but they're not doing bubbles for the first game, or the round, which I'm very happy because the Dodgers are the number 1 seed. So we get to host the Brewers in a 3-game series, all in Dodger Stadium. So it's essentially just a weekend series. But I hate those best of 3s. They're too tough. Luckily, it's the Brewers. I'm not super worried about the Brewers. But when you look at these matchups, the next round that we could face is going to be the Padres, and that scares me. But these matchups really turned out to be good. And you got to go through everybody, but the Padres were the second best team in baseball. And because they're in our division, they're the number 4 seed, which means they face us in the second round. If there were only 6 teams in baseball like they're supposed to be, that wouldn't happen. The 4 seed would still take a little bit to get there. So that kind of sucks, but I'm excited to be able to be in Arlington the whole time. As long as we keep winning, we don't have to travel at all. We get, other than from Dodger Stadium to Arlington for the second round, but then we can just stay in Arlington the whole time. So I'm excited about that. But if we're not going to win it, I'm kind of pulling for Tampa Bay just because, like, I want to see the Tampa sweep, man. The Rays, the Lightning, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That would be awesome if we get the Tampa sweep.
No. Are the Braves in it?
Yeah.
Braves were good today.
Yeah, the Braves are the 2 seed.
All right.
The official 2
All right,
seed.
sweet.
So
if you guys don't win it, because I'm a good friend, and I don't have a
dog in this fight.
Yeah, I was trying to say cat for some reason, but I don't have a dog in this fight. So I try to root for your Doyers and whatever team you have usually. But I would want the Braves, dude.
I don't, because so the Braves are who I want to win the least, and the reason being, I grew up as a Braves fan, right? And when I chose the Dodgers, I didn't Jason Sanford this shit where I'm like, I have 2 teams now. I said, no, I am a Dodgers fan. I'm dropping the Braves. I'm becoming a diehard Dodgers fan. And now the Braves are going to win a World Series before the Dodgers do? That would suck if I drop them and then they win this series. So they can't win. I don't want them to win. And so anybody else. They can win next year after the Dodgers win.
That was awesome, though. But no, I just, just from everybody at home really does kind of like the Braves. So Why
Well,
not?
yeah, from Palaca, they're the Palaca team, and so that would be cool. If my dad was still alive, I would definitely have a soft spot for the Braves and hope that they win. But
Same. I mean,
is-
my dad could really give a rat's ass about baseball, like the professional. He liked coaching and all that stuff, but he was a Braves fan.
my dad, I think that was really his favorite sport. Well, college football was his favorite, but then baseball for pros.
Same.
And so I
My
grew
dad
up on the
loved them
Braves.
some
I grew up on
NASCAR and
all
the
of it.
Gators.
So, yeah, college football is number one. If you're ever near the southeast, that's
No, I have the background on.
yeah, and we can't see anything but you and the
I know.
beach.
It's baby girl. Let's just make her feel special. Say hey, baby girl. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey.
Are you like on the
No,
sidewalk? I
she's
can
not.
kind of see the sidewalk. So,
Oh yeah.
anyways, yeah. So
I'm like in the suite.
nice. So the MLB is ready to go. They start tomorrow. The Asterix play. Who do they play? They play the Twins. So they're going to Minnesota to play the Twins. Hopefully they get just shut out and sent home, and they get beamed 8 times while it's happening. But so right now I'm the biggest Twins fan and Dodgers fan, and let's get Houston out of this thing. And the only other outcome I want is Houston to be in the series and get crushed by us, but that would make me too nervous. So I hope they get knocked out right away.
Whew.
They're not
Yeah,
that
fuck
good.
Houston.
They're going to get knocked out.
I hope so.
They have
I
like the
really
worst
fucking hope
record.
so.
It's just that that division sucks because they have the Angels in it. But I don't really have anything else. We literally touched on every sport, I think.
Whew.
Do you have any shout outs that you want to throw out before we get out of here?
Nope. I gotta pee.
All right. Well, while Sill's on his way to pee, let's try to think of somebody cool. Well, you know what?
I'm waiting around.
Let's bring it all.
I had something, but I don't
Oh, well,
remember it
well,
anymore.
I'm going to bring it all back full circle because we started the podcast this way and they deserve a second shout out. Tampa Bay Lightning, like I said, congratulations. You guys are the champs. Victor Hedman, he is only the 3rd Swedish player of Swedish descent to win the Conn Smythe Trophy. The other 2, our boys, Zetterberg and Yzerman or Datsuk. No, Datsuk's Russian, so must be Yzerman.
Yzerman.
But I don't remember. Sorry, Eddie sent me the text. I obviously don't know that much about hockey, but they're the Swedes that did it. So congrats to Victor Hedman. Congrats to the Swede. I have been looking at living in Sweden. So if you're listening here in Sweden and you can give me a job, let me do it because they won't give you a visa unless you have a job. So hit me up. noscrubsports@gmail.com. But be like Victor Hedman. Be like the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're celebrating in Tampa today, or in Ontario, I think, wherever the bubble was. But be that way and be a stud, not a scrub.